All right, so today we are going to be using a beautiful bundle that is featured in our spring catalog. It is called Mountain Air. Hi Rise, happy Wednesday. And one of the things I love about this set, I don't know, it was one of those sets that it wouldn't be an original Dory purchase, but it kind of just spoke to me. And I love the mountains. And I also love the fact, did you see, it's reversible. So don't you love it when you have a shirt that you can wear, more than one way, so you have two choices. So this is the set with the dies, okay? And I'm gonna show you the reversible part first, and then we'll go ahead and, oh, sorry, I have some little fuzzies there. We'll go ahead and make the card together, okay? So this is the mountain stamp set, or mountain stamp. And you can see that, you can see all the little lines on the stamp. So one of the great things is, I'm gonna use my basic gray. Hi Lisa, hi Barb, happy Wednesday. And I am going to press down. Try not to shake the camera here. Try to be polite. Oh, Lola wants to say hi. All right, and so this is the one side, this is the flat side, and it's gonna give you that image right there, okay? And then we're gonna clean it off, and we're gonna flip it over, so you're just gonna turn it over that way, and then you're gonna ink it up again, and this would allow you to, this is the detailed side. So hopefully I inked that up. Let me do that again here. And that's where you get your detail. Okay, so you have the one side where you could stamp off, well, it's upside down. You could stamp off and you get the, kind of the, I don't know, the filled in image. And then you have the other side that gives you all the detail. So that's the reversible part. So you have your trees are reversible, the mountains are reversible, the little tree line with the water and the cloud. So lots of great stuff here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Like I said, we're gonna do a little bit of watercoloring today, and I am going to be using my aqua painter. The aqua painter that is currently in our catalog is retiring, but they are coming out with a newer, more sleek model, we'll say. So they will be back in the new catalog. Hey Debbie, happy Wednesday. So here's the card that we will be making today. And I got my idea, I cased my idea right from the catalog. So mine's a little, I changed a couple of things, but that's where I got the idea from. So sometimes it's okay just to look in our catalog for ideas too. Hey Christine. So I'm gonna start with a piece of watercolor cardstock, and that is actually in the back of our catalog. Sometimes we miss some of the, the good things that are in there. That's on page 169. It's the fluid watercolor paper. So that's what we're going to be using. And my aqua painter. And I'm going to start out with my Daffodil Delight ink. And I'm going to give it a little hug, because it's been social distancing too. So it wants a little bit of love. So I'm going to give it a little squeeze. I'm going to open it up. And you get all this wonderful ink here when you do that. So I'm going to set this, let's see if we can do this neatly without me knocking everything over. And my aqua painter, you fill it with water, okay? And there's a little line, you can fill up to that line. So I went ahead and put some water in there, nothing special, just water. And I'm going to go ahead and squeeze it, okay? And then I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to run it over top of my paper. Yeah, I think it's crying out the side, but that's okay. So I am just gonna run right over top of the paper. And this is very porous paper, so it is going to suck in all of the good ink. That's a technical term, suck in all of the good ink. There we go. So, hey Christine, happy Wednesday. All right, so I'm just gonna roll over top of this. And again, I'm going to come down here on the bottom, I don't know if you guys can see it, and just add color there, okay? This is Daffodil Delight. I'm not going to color in the whole thing because we need a little space for our mountains. So you'll see our mountains are there in the kind of in the center of the photo. All right, so I'm gonna close that up, and I'm actually gonna let this piece dry, okay? Here's one that I've done already, and you can use, I used my embossing tool and my heat tool, and I just dried it with that. So just, you know, if you have time and you just want to let it dry on its own, you can do that too, but here is the piece that I used. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the mountain, and I'm going to stamp it twice. And I'm going to use the flat side, so the side that does not have the detail, the non-detailed side, okay? And I am going to ink it up, and I am going to, so let me back up a little bit. The aqua painters you can use in several different colors. You just need to kind of go off and clean it, and then you can come back with your next color or with just some water. So I'm gonna put a little bit of water on this, okay? And I'm going to ink up my mountains. Oh, they don't wanna stay on that one side. And I am going to stamp off, and then I am going to add them to the front of my card. And they're a little inky, and that's okay, all right? It's okay. Inky is okay, and it's gonna bleed and run, but we're going for the artistic interpretation, okay? I promise you it will look beautiful at the end. Just bear with me. All right, and then this one I am not going to stamp off. So this one I'm going to come right in the front here, and that's gonna be the look there, all right? So then what I did is I went back with my aqua painter, and I just kind of colored in the mountains a little bit, and I went over and filled those in. And then I'm going to come back here and do the same with the darker. You can see how it blends nicely. Not everything has to be perfect. This is, like I said, this is kind of like a Bob Ross. It's you know, artist interpretation. But you can see the dark and you can see the light of the mountains, okay? So then we are going to, I have my little heat tool behind me, so I'm gonna dry it just for a second so you guys can chat amongst yourselves. You can hear it, sounds like a little hair dryer. You could use a hair dryer too if you didn't have a heat tool, but heat tools are great for embossing, and we're gonna do some heat embossing on this as well. Perfect, now it's done. Okay, so there it's dry. Let me bring this one back in. So this is what it's gonna look like. So it's just kind of a watercolor wash. So the next thing we are going to do is I went ahead and pre-stamped the mountains. So we're gonna, happy little mountains, that's right. We'll put some happy little trees on soon. So we'll channel our inner Bob Ross. So these are the mountains, and I pre-cut and pre-stamped them, but I used the detailed side, and this is my die that I use to cut them out, okay? And I am gonna add these on the front of the card with, you guys all know the answer, right? Dimensionals, of course. Okay, so let me get my little box with dimensionals here, and I'm gonna go ahead, and obviously you're not gonna use the whole thing. So I'm going to start and just put 3 dimensionals on the mountains. Sorry, it's sticking to me. All right, and we're gonna peel those off. They're double-sided, so you wanna make sure you always peel off the back or your mountains will not stick. And we're just gonna add that, and you can add it wherever you want. So I kinda want it not to match the layers that I have behind. So I want it a little off, okay? So you know that the mountain is going off the edge. So I am just gonna take my paper snips, and I'm gonna turn this over, and I'm just gonna trim along the edge there, okay? Oh, poor little mountain. And on the other side as well. All right, so then we have our mountains that we're adding there. Okay, it's slowly coming together. And then the next thing I'm going to do is we also have a sun, or it could be a moon. And this is also double-sided. So I don't know if you could see, but it's kind of like a crater-like look there. And then if you turn it over, you can use the other side, and the other side is completely flat. So I added a little sun up here in the corner. And for that, I used Mango Melody. And Mango Melody has a little bit more of an orange to it. And it also adds and it's very light, and that's okay. It was like that on this one too, okay? If you wanna go back, you can always take your, we were talking about the aqua painter. You can always go back with your aqua painter, just make sure it's clean, and you can go back and you can go around with that and just add some color to the inside if you would like. Okay, and there's a little dot of color there, but that's okay. That's the man in the moon. He's looking at us there. All right. Thanks, Nancy. Happy Wednesday. Okay, so now we're basically ready to build our card. And let me show you two other things that I cut out. And these are the beautiful trees that are in this bundle. Whoops. Sorry, there's a little tree hangnail there. Black trees, and I thought black would look great. Well, actually, I lied. The catalog that I cased it from told me that black would look great. And so I am going to add my trees here on the side, and I'm going to do one on top of the other. So I'm going to put those together, all right? And when I put these on, I am definitely going to use Tombow, okay? And Tombow is a liquid glue, and I'm going to pray that Tombow is going to work, because sometimes it gets a little persnickety, but I'm sure it's going to be fabulous. Let's see. And what I did is I took, yeah, it's not going to work right now. Let's see. Hold on. Let me give it a nice squeeze. There we go. Okay. So we are going to take and just run, I just kind of ran it down the center of, I don't know if you can see, of my tree there, and just kind of did some little offshoots on the side, because you don't want too much. It is an amazing glue, and it does allow you to move your object, but you don't want too much of it to show. So what I did is I chose to put the tree right here on the side of the mountain, okay? And I'm going to come back with, you know, we've chatted before on these videos. You use all of your dimensionals. So actually the mini dimensionals are even too large. So I'm just trimming the sides of my dimensionals. And we talked about, you know, they're golden. So I just put a little piece there at the top, and that anchors the tree on that side there. Okay, so then we're going to go back with our second tree, and these little, they're kind of like, you know, silhouettes of the tree, and they're absolutely beautiful. And I'm just going to kind of place that one over top of my my other black tree. Again, I'm going to come back and use my Tombow, and let's see if I can give it some incentive and encouragement. The things we do off camera, right? That you guys don't see. All right, so I'm gonna come back in, and again, I'm just gonna run, well, you know, in the perfect stamping video, your Tombow works. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna come down the center. And just put kind of like little dots there on the center. And I guarantee you, it doesn't look like I have a lot, but that will be enough. Okay. So I'm going to take this tree, and I'm going to kind of place it off to the side a little bit. All right. And then we're going to do the same. We're going to cut a little piece of dimensional from the side of our pack here. And we are going to stick that right at the top of the tree. the tip top of the tree, and that will help to anchor it. And the nice thing is it gives you just enough space to do that, and your tree will stay on. And it also, one of the nice things about adding your dimensional up here at the top is it doesn't cause your tree to kind of sink down in, because normally if you would just put Tombow, it would kind of be flush with the paper here. And I don't want it to do that. I want it to give it the little bit of a raised look, okay? So the next thing I am going to do is I have made a little saying here, and it says, "You're amazing and that's a fact." One of the things I love about this card is it could be feminine or it could be masculine. So it, you know, with the colors, the dark purples and the grays, it would even be perfect for Father's Day or for a manly birthday. It's actually our, my husband and I are celebrating our 20th anniversary today. So this is his anniversary card. So he doesn't hop on Facebook a lot, so hopefully you won't see it. But this is the card that I made for him. So I wanted to share it with you guys today. Okay. And one of my other favorite things in this set is they're tiny, but these little birds, they are so darn cute. And they really add that little extra to your project. So of course you have to add the little birds. Thank you, Nancy. Okay. And so I added the little birds, and then I am going to grab my snail and we're going to go ahead and put this together. So I'm actually going to put my snail. So this piece is 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I chose Blackberry Bliss as my layer, and that is 3 1/2 by 5 1/2. And that is going to go on the front. And I'm just going to put a little bit of snail in the back, and I'm not going to injure anything on the front. So I'm being very gentle. I promise. The trees and the mountains will be fine. So will the birds. And I'm going to add this right here on the front, and the Blackberry Bliss just gives a really nice pop of color with the Daffodil Delight and the black and the gray. So there are your mountains there. And then you're going to go ahead and I'm going to flip this over again. Again, not injuring a bit of nature while I'm doing this. Nature is not being harmed. And I'm going to put this right on top of my cardstock. And this is your regular card. So it's, and then everything is there and ready to go. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sentiment on the front, and that one, like I said, I embossed this. Oh, sorry, it's upside down. You're amazing, and that's a fact. So I pre-embossed this. Okay, so you guys didn't have to listen to my embosser, my heat tool, while I was trying to talk. But I used the Whisper White ink, and then I also used our embossing powder, and I even added a little bit of our glitter to the embossing powder. I like glitzy and glittery things, so so I went ahead and heated that up, and I am going to add that right here to the front on the bottom with 2 dimensionals, because I love dimensionals. I don't think you can't make a card without dimensionals. Well, you can, but you know, they just make me happy. So there's the little "You're amazing, and that's a fact." The last thing I did is I wanted to give a little bit more definition here at the top. So I went, you can always add color. You can't take color away, right? Like when you're applying lipstick, you can always add color, but you know, you don't want to have too much. So here we go. I gave it a little squeeze, and I just added a little bit of, it's not going to do it for me right now. Hold on, let me squeeze it again. Apparently I wasn't a very good hugger. I'm out of practice because I haven't hugged people in a long time. So here we go. There, that's so much better. All right, so we have all this great ink here. All right, and so I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of darker here in the center. And then the nice thing with the aqua painter is you can kind of just bring it out. All right. So I think that really adds some nice detail. And then I went down here underneath the mountains and I did the same thing. So it goes from darker to lighter into your Daffodil Delight. All right. So that is the card that I have to share with you today. So that is the Mountain Air Bundle. This bundle is carrying over into our next catalog, but it will not be sold as a bundle. So if this is something that is on your wish list or any of these other products, you can stop by doryschneider.stampinup.net, and the May Hostess code is listed here, and you can place your order at any time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll be back again on Friday at 12:30 with another video. So have a great day and enjoy. Bye-bye.